Go.
Okay, we're live. Great. Okay, welcome back, ladies and gents, to another Marty and Clyde show. We got our good friend Yoyogi down here. He's actually taking care of everything today. It's because I'm out on the street. I'm in Tokyo. Right now, I'm at the famous meeting place. It's called Hachiko. It's a famous dog that was. There's a whole story. I don't want to get into it. It's a TLDR. There's this dog that would come back to the train station, look for its master every day, became famous. And now there's a statue of that dog. And this is the famous meeting place. But here I am in beautiful Shibuya, Tokyo, the famous crossing that everybody has seen in all the movies. And we're going to be going for a walk while we do the usual Marty and Clyde show. So welcome, everybody. First off, Yuji, thank you so much for taking care of this on the back end for us today.
Hey, no problem.
And Marty.
Yeah, Yuji's doing that for us because Clyde, you normally drive, like you normally act as the producer and you have the ability to switch. Like I'm just passive right here. But because you're walking around Tokyo, it would be complicated for you to do this on your phone, right? You're only doing this on the phone. You're not on a laptop or anything like that.
I got a selfie stick and that's it. I'm
wow. By the way, folks, kudos, right? Look at how clear he's coming. He's in Tokyo, Japan. What did you buy? Like a little SIM card for 5G for a couple of $100?
Don't even need a physical SIM card anymore. They're eSIMs. I just use it on an app. There's a bunch of different apps you can get for your phone. And then just the SIM card, eSIM, it hooks you up. And I got 30 days of unlimited access to the 5G network for $100 Canadian.
You have better internet than I do here in the country. That's
the beauty of competition, man. That's how it works in a free market. So Japan has some great networks and they have a lot of competition in those networks. And because of that, they can provide reasonable service for everybody. When you have demographics like this, it's incredible. It absolutely is incredible. So,
meanwhile,
Canada,
we live in a
Canada
country
could do
here.
The same thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Canada is still talking about, like, I think Doug Ford. Remember, Doug Ford like paid for Starlink and then canceled it. And here in Alberta, it's still something that the premier talks about, like providing high-speed internet for rural people. Like that. This is not that. This is an example of something that the government should not be doing. Right? It's not up to the government to provide high-speed internet to people. Oh my God, what is that?
It's a tourism thing where go-karts, you can take go-karts in the middle of Shibuya. It's amazing.
Holy smokes.
It's yours.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying not to show people that are waiting to cross the street. So I'm actually facing the crowd and then we'll be walking.
So give the preamble. So Yuji is going to be on the screen, might not be on the screen the whole time. I mean, you're more than welcome to stick around, Yuji, like you know us, but he's acting as a producer today.
That's right. So, and we're going to do the usual thing, everybody. So we'll be paying attention as much as we can to the chat, but we'll really hit the chat after the first hour of the show. And then that's when we'll take people's questions, comments, that kind of thing. And Yuji's going to help facilitate that for us. So thank you so much, Yuji. And by the way, just a quick shout out to the new merch. I see you have it in the background.
Yeah.
You got the I was Canadian logo on the shirt there. I think that'll be a big hit for all the expats and all the people that are looking forward to maybe an independent Alberta moving forward. But we got a lot of info on that coming up. So yeah, we'll be hitting some of the main topics as I'm walking through Tokyo here, and then we'll get to that at the second half of the show. So stick around for that. Anything else you want to add to that, Marty?
Somebody froze. No, temporarily. All right, Yuji, let's just practice. We already have a super chat. How do you, can you bring that super chat over?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. So Myron Ends 228 says, our internet takes a dump when other countries have way better for way less, unless you are in Australia. Okay, cool. So everything works. I'll take his word on that. Apparently, Australia's got good internet. Definitely Canada cannot. For a nation that telecommunication was in our blood, right? We're a huge nation. We installed like long distance infrastructure, whatever, all of that early on. We pioneered it. And today we suck at it, right? Like I don't even want to say what I pay. I'm paying like probably $150 per phone. I have 2 phones, me and Karen, and then I get a warning when I'm about to exceed my data, right? Like I think I get $150 for about 40 gigs of data. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's astonishing how expensive it can be in Canada. But Canada is the nation of monopolies, right? It just goes to show like what happens when you actually have commercial competition going on in any sort of market. If you have the competition, then you end up with this. It drives the prices of everything down. The service gets better, and the consumer is the one that benefits the most. When you have like what Canada has, a monopoly in all of these in all of these facets, not just telecommunications, by the way, it's all everywhere. What you end up with is a crappier product, more expensive, and a bunch of rich tycoons that lobby the government to keep that in place. And that's exactly the way it is in Canada. It's unbelievable. Yuji, would you be able to pop it to be side by side? There we go. There, that's perfect.
So how's it been? You've been there, what, 2 weeks now? How are things?
Yeah, so just over 2, or is it just over 2 weeks? Yeah, I've been here for 2 weeks, and a lot of catching up. So we have a lot of friends. We used to live here, right? So for 3 years, about 15 years ago, we lived here. We have family and friends in the area, and well, we've just been busy with that. So like I haven't had really much of a chance to make videos or get out any content. Just been busy. We just got back from a place called Fuji-Q. It's kind of like a Six Flags sort of thing, right at the base of Mount Fuji in Shizuoka. So I took the kids out there and went on roller coasters and did all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but looking forward to catching up on some of the madness.
Looking over your shoulder, you might as well be in New York. Like I haven't seen a Japanese sign yet, like 2nd Street, and like you are definitely in, like, it looks like a mini New York.
Yeah,
like pizza. Look at the over your shoulder says pizza right now, and
here's the spaghetti, pizza and spaghetti. This is Goncha.
Yeah,
another place.
So you're just gonna go around and round in the same block, or are you on your way somewhere?
So I'm on my way somewhere. So I just came from Sentagai, which is the main street in Shibuya. I've kind of gone down like a sort of a small street here. And then from there, I'm going to walk up to Harajuku, through Harajuku, and then into Yoyogi Park. You'll really enjoy the walk. You'll really like this. I've done this on many trips to Japan before. This route seems to be just a fun one to take everybody on. But mind you, it is still kind of early in the day, right? It's only like 10:30 in the morning in Japan.
Okay.
So if this looks busy to people, I mean, it gets crazy in the evenings, especially where we just were. But yeah, it's kind of mellow around this area.
Cool.
All right. Well, I want to hear about this, Marty. You said this before we went live. You said there's been a bit of an upset in the whole Alberta prosperity thing, and I'm curious to hear what happened because, I've been pretty supportive of it, just as a bystander. You know what I mean? Somebody watching from the outside. But I'd like to hear how this is going. What's happening?
It was a pretty big setback today. So just to recap real quick, the Mitch Sylvester launched a petition, started collecting signatures. The petition was launched on December 23rd, just before Christmas, and then we had 120 days to collect signatures under what's called the Citizens Initiative Act. And as soon as we started collecting signatures, First Nation started to file court case complaints, right? So they filed an injunction to try and stop the whole process, declaring it unconstitutional, a violation of treaty rights. They weren't consulted, blah, 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 and along those lines. And there was a hearing about a month ago, April 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there, where the judge heard a whole bunch of arguments. And that was almost 30 days ago. And today the judge adjudicated and said that the whole, I'm not an expert. I'm not a judicial expert, but basically my interpretation, and Jeff Rass and a whole bunch of other people, the judge basically said that the petition as it stands, the law that's being used to do this petition, it's not unconstitutional. It's illegal. It doesn't consult the First Nations adequately, blah, blah, blah. And basically, the petition's dead in the water right now. Even though 300,000 signatures were collected, they were handed over to Elections Alberta, it's dead in the water. The judge is basically saying the petition is invalid. And I don't know what else to think. I mean, my interpretation of this is we need permission from the government to petition the government, which is bonkers. Like petitioning,
that is bonkers.
It's completely bonkers. And I'm not surprised. I mean, you and I have talked about this many times. The judges are appointed. They're liberal. I mean, the judge who ruled on this, an Alberta issue, is a judge from Nova Scotia who was appointed by Trudeau. And, the courts are being, what's the word? Whatever. The courts are unfriendly. So it's a big setback.
Well, the courts are, it's more than unfriendly, Marty. I mean, this is like, so what's the old expression, ballots, not bullets, right? The old idea that the reason why we have, elections in the first place is so that we don't have violent overthrows of things. You know what I mean? When the will of the people is not adhered to, or even, they're ignored completely, that's where things go bad. This is really a bad decision in my estimate.
You're not the only one who thinks like that. Even Premier Danielle Smith, a mere 30 minutes later, she happened to have planned at 3:00 a conference to talk about some changes to the schools or whatever. But of course, that got that got hijacked by this discussion. And somebody asked her, like, what's your thought on the ruling? I think she had just heard about the ruling, was digesting it, but she basically said that the ruling goes against her laws, right? Smith is the person passing the laws. Of course, you pass laws and then the courts every law needs to be tested, right? That's the way it works.
Yeah, everything gets tested.
Everything gets tested, but this one got tested pretty quickly, pretty extremely. And Smith is basically saying, well, that's not the intent of the law, and we think the judge was wrong. But it throws it back in her court, and we're just running out of time. My fear from an independence point of view is there is one rule that's pretty clear. You can't have a referendum within 1 year of an election, 1 year before or 1 year after. And Alberta has fixed election dates. The next provincial election is like October 20th next year. So no matter what, we have to have if we want an independence referendum, it has to be done by October 19th or earlier, and we've run out of time.
So they're stalling to make it so that it's just, you're not allowed to do it. Now, this is crazy because I put out a post yesterday saying, this isn't just a referendum on whether people in Alberta want to be independent from Canada. It's a referendum of literally millions of people across the entire Canada, because I get messages every day. People asking me like, hey, I'm planning to move to Alberta when they become independent, but my plan B is I want to move to the United States. And I get a lot of people calling me from all over Canada. And I'm telling you, there's the tweet right there. Basically saying, I get people calling me or messaging me all the time saying like, I need a plan B, Clyde, because Alberta independence, we're hoping it happens, but it may not happen. And they want to get out. So like, this isn't a case that Canada can just, trick everybody with the courts and get some rulings and just be hunky dory. And all those working class people are just going to keep going and paying those damn taxes. Like, it's not going to happen. Well, like, those people are ready to fucking go. And if they can't go, well, they're going elsewhere. They're leaving. It's going to be the most massive brain drain in Canadian history. It's unbelievable.
I had 3 people this week call and ask about the bridge, right? The group, they call
Yeah.
me specifically. They're like, "What's the group that Clyde keeps promoting?" And I said, "The bridge." And yeah, they're there. But I just want to go back to one thing, right?
Yeah.
There are people cheering, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it's so sad that people are so narrow-minded. You're cheering, okay, maybe you don't want an independent Alberta, and you're cheering a court decision, but sadly, you're cheering for court interference. And someday
Yes.
that'll bite you. It's just like, we've always talked about like people cheering the gun grab. I'm like, sure, you're against guns, so you're cheering the gun confiscation, but you're opening a can of worms. We live in a country of common law, precedent law. So if you're okay with guns being confiscated, you're happy about that. But someday they'll come for your shoes or your power boat or your extra room in your house, or I don't know what, right? Like, people are
Yeah, whatever
cheering.
it might be. They might make motorbikes illegal because they
Sure.
find it too dangerous for you. So they're going to come get your motorbike.
Yeah,
Like,
so you're cheering for, basically, the people that are cheering this judgment today are cheering for the erosion of democratic rights. And I find that bizarre. Like, even if you're against independence, you should still be a bit shocked that the courts are interfering this way. But it is what
but
it is.
it's amazing to me because there's so many people that cry democracy and they scream democracy. This is anti-democratic. It's
Totally.
not democratic. It's anti-democratic. It's the idea of finding loopholes and ways to stop democracy from even occurring in the first place. It's unbelievable. And next time I hear somebody crying about democracy, screw you, man. Like,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
nothing. You got no leg to stand on.
I mean, I can hardly think of anything more peaceful and democratic than what we were trying to do. Like, I've said this over and over and over. In the last 3 months, I sat on the side of the road with my wife, Karen, and some friends. And what did we do? We set up a table, put up a couple of flags, and then we had a little piece of paper, and people came over and they signed that. On my piece of paper, it says, "Do you want to trigger a referendum on independence?" People were like, "Heck yeah." And then they just signed their names. The judge just said that that's illegal, that
That's illegal.
I could not sit on the side of the road and collect signatures.
That's
Like,
unbelievable.
yeah.
That's absolutely unbelievable. Like, what? Where do you
And
even
I
start
knew
with
this was
that?
going to happen, Clyde, because I already thought, like, I joked about, I was collecting signatures on the sheets of paper that they said, I wasn't even using plain sheets of paper. They're like, you have to use this sheet of paper. You have to show the
Mhm.
question. There's a serial number on the piece of paper. You have to look for the ID. And you have to, literally down to the point, like, I'm holding a blue pen. You have to write the person's name in blue, because that way it doesn't look like a photocopy. I'm like, okay, I'll do all those things. And
You dotted all the I's and you crossed all the T's, and yet they still found a way to nullify it. It's
yeah,
unbelievable. But like, Marty, I keep saying this is how wars have started in history, and they're really playing with fire here. It's really messed up. Like,
it
I
is.
know, and we've been saying this. I've been saying this for some time that they're going to play some dirty tricks and they're going to try their best to thwart this and put an end to it. So expect it. So expect it. But like, oh man, the way they're going about it is going to make some people upset. And I'm not, obviously, I don't want to say this, explicitly. I am not calling for violence, but this
No.
is how you get it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be Danielle Smith today. She's between a rock and a hard place, and she has, she's she's trying to. This is her poor problem right now. She's trying to pass law, so she's not for independence, right? She's not for independence. She's on the record saying she'll fight this, but she's for democracy and giving tools to the citizens. So she's tried to
Right.
give us tools, and then the tools have been, she's given us tools, and the tools need to be adjusted. The courts are saying the tools you're giving us are unconstitutional. So then she's redrafting the tool. The court again said the tools are unconstitutional. It's like, holy shit. Well, then, like, even I would be like, how do I pass a new law in this country? Like, what do I do? Like, should I just go to the courts first and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing? How should I do it? Like, there's a crazy back and forth between the elected officials trying to pass laws and the courts who keep saying the laws you're trying to pass are illegal. Like I'm wondering if we're at the point where we won't be able to pass laws, which might be a good thing. Actually, there's some days where I kind of sit there and go, hey, you know what? Let's live with what we have. Yeah,
No,
not a
but the
good
laws
day.
that we can pass, though, seem to always go in one direction, and that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
awful thing. Moving ever so slowly away from people's genuine liberties and towards more authoritarianism. And it's been going in that direction for a very long time. And anytime we seem to have any strides in one direction, it gets thwarted by people who are trying to bring about authoritarianism. I mean, it really, how else can you spell it out?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
ill intent there.
Yeah, Bill C9, full speed ahead. Bill C22, full speed ahead. 263, full speed ahead. Anything like that where the government gives
What
itself
was it?
more powers.
S202 or whatever it was at the very beginning of Carney's, prime ministerialship. First thing they did was they passed a law to make it so that they couldn't even negotiate dairy or poultry internationally in any way. That went unanimously. Both parties, they're full on for it. It's crazy.
Actually, Clyde, I think we didn't have a show last week. You were busy, but I think it happened last week. Last week, Doug Ford excluded himself from freedom of information requests. Like you can't even.
That.
Yeah, and then this week we're learning that they're trying to get the cameras out of the House of Commons. They don't even want cameras in the House of Commons. Like they don't want they're trying to make the House of Commons. Yeah, like House of Privacy or whatever. Like, yeah, it's bonkers. Oh, what
House
a week.
of Privacy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, actually, it just reminds me of something we need to talk about just so briefly. You missed this while you were gone. You're breaking the law right now, my friend. You missed something important while you were gone. The census. The census. You got a census while you were gone. You probably got a census envelope, and you had until today to complete the census. So you're in violation, and you should see the protests across the country. Everybody's taking their census. By the way, folks, you know this, right? Maybe you don't know this, but yeah, exactly. A census comes around every 5 years kind of thing. And a census used to be pretty straightforward, right? It was delivered to every household in the country. You just filled out how many people live in your house, how old are they, that was basically it. What language do you speak at home? Like pretty unintrusive questions like that. And we all agreed that, okay, it's important to count the number of people in the country, see which areas are growing a little bit faster than others. And by the way, I don't even think they need the census to do this. They can do this all without the census. But
they want to compel you to do it, right? They want compulsion with it.
Oh, it's the law.
Been.
You have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But we went from so now there's been a protest all week. People are taking their census and saying, I didn't agree to this. Like, this is a perfect storm. The poor guy at the census, whoever the chief statistician, he's getting thousands and thousands of these return to sender. I'm not doing it. Like thousands. And
that's great.
Or worse, if they're not sending them back, they're actually completing them, but completing them incorrectly. Like, how old are you? 123 years old. What's your sex? I'm
all of the above.
All of the above. And so the poor guys at the census are going to have a hard time. But never mind that. Don't quote me on this, but about a quarter of the people that receive, about 75%, 3/4 of people get a normal census, which is like 10 questions, right? How many people live there, their ages, languages spoken at home. But about a quarter of the people, about 25% of the censuses are like 20 pages long, way longer, and start asking like really intrusive questions like, what
how much money do you make a year?
How much money do you make a year? How big's your house? Do you have unused bedrooms in your house? What sex do you identify with? Blah, 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 blah. Sexual orientation. What's your religion? And then people are like, oh, that's all to deliver better services. Why do you need to know how big my house is? Like,
it's all to deliver better. I love that. The government needs to intrude in you. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to confession right now. I've had many consensuses land on my door, and I've never filled one out. And I've always challenged them because it says right on there, you can get a big fine or up to a year in jail. Make me the first one you throw in jail. Make me
There
the
you go.
very first one you ever do.
Yeah.
Because I ain't
What's
doing
my
it, and
crime,
you
right?
can't
Like
make
I've
me.
always said, yeah, how beautiful is that? Like there's Clyde, like we're filming Clyde. Why are they putting Clyde in handcuffs and lowering him into the back of a car? Because he refused to tell people how many bedrooms he had in his house. Oh,
That's right. See, the whole idea of freedom of expression is the idea is that you have the freedom to not express yourself as well, right? You have the freedom to not tell people your damn business. And, oh my goodness, I would just absolutely love it if that landed on my door. Because, well, the other part of it is I'm a U.S. citizen, and man, what would the international conflict be if a U.S. citizen was arrested for not filing the consensus in Canada? That's just absurd. I'm glad people are finally making an issue out of this. I've never once done it, and I've always kind of like flagrantly just said, "No, I ain't doing it. Forget it."
yeah.
What are you gonna do? You gonna make me?
Apparently, by law, they're
They
just
tell you they're going to make you do stuff though, Marty. Like, and this is amazing because I just before I left, and I've been waiting for the right time to do a story on this. I guess we can talk about it now. A good friend of mine who's also leaving the country. He's a colleague of mine. He's been a friend for a long time. He's from Australia, and I've worked with him, and he's leaving because, well, for many reasons, Canada is like on to shit. And he's like, well, I can make a better life in Australia for all sorts of reasons. And he's also a gun owner, and he owns some of these firearms that were made prohibited that he bought lawfully in his time in Canada, and he can't get rid of them. So he's decided to do the gun buyback program as like a guinea pig for everybody to say, hey, look, I'll do this and see how it actually goes. So get this, Marty. He dots all his I's, crosses all his T's, sends in his paperwork. He's got a couple of guns that were made prohibited. They send him back a quote, which one of them was like under, and then the other one was like way more than what he paid for. And he's like, haha, that's hilarious. So he's like, okay, let's go through with this. This is how disorganized and how shitty this government is, and they don't know what the hell they're doing, right? So he sets it up, and he sets up an appointment, and the appointment is with the local RCMP dispatch. So he goes down to the local RCMP dispatch to verify his appointment. Guess what, Marty? They didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
There you go. Yeah.
No clue. And they're like, well, just come down to the cop shop and bring your guns. And he's like, you know, I'm not doing that. What the hell are you talking about? It's a felony. I can't just do that. I need to have the reason why I'm coming down here, and you need to verify it for me. And they're like, well, we'll get in touch with somebody. So they call and they try to verify what's going on for him. And he has all the paperwork. And he's like, look, here's the paperwork. I made an appointment. And they're like, yeah, we have no clue. They literally don't know from one side to the other. Like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. This is how inept our government is. You think they're going to arrest people for not filling out the consensus, Marty?
No,
right.
Exactly. And like I said earlier, I mean, if the systems were working properly, they wouldn't need the census anyways. Like, why do they need to, all of us have a birth certificate at some point or other, right? Just grab the birth certificate and cross-reference with the number of death certificates, and you should know how many people are living here, and then cross-reference.
It's because they don't do anything right. So when people leave the country and don't ever come back, they don't check on the way out where people are going. They don't do it. Here in Japan, for example, I lived here for 3 years, 15 years ago. I came back to Canada 15 years ago. And when I lived here, and anytime that I left the country, they would ask, okay, what do you leave? Like, why are you leaving? They want a reason, right? On the way out. So you have to actually go through immigration on the way out. And when I left for the last time after leaving, they put a stamp because they said, are you coming back? I said, no. And they put a stamp on my visa saying he's not coming back. So I couldn't give my visa where any, no fraud could occur, but also so that they could have an idea of who came in and who left and all of that information. They don't do any of that crap in Canada. It's unbelievable.
No.
And another example is, why the hell do we even have marriage certificates anymore? Marriage certificates, the only reason why the government was in the business of marrying people was look at your marriage certificate, Marty, your marriage license. It's some health authority for Canada, right? It's not like the marriage agency of Canada. No, it's Health Canada, and they issue marriage licensing so that they know who's married, what kind of demographics. Is a demographic thing for health services. That's what it was originally for. Then they bring in a consensus and they say, we don't need that data, but why are they even in that business anymore? We should be abolishing things that don't make any sense anymore. If that operation is redundant or we don't need it for whatever reason, it should just be dismissed and abolished. This is how the bureaucracies get so large. We have meaningless bureaucracies, again, redundant, and yet we still keep them, and then they morph into something else entirely. It's just absurd.
Yeah, and yeah, no, I agree. And you know me, right? I already go to Stats Canada all the time. I was getting a lot of data, and people were always saying to me, like, do you believe the data at Stats Canada? And my answer is no. I was looking for trends, generally speaking, but now I'm going to trust it even less. I mean, yeah, no, yeah. And then there was
it's how you read statistics as well, right? So Rebel News recently did some polling of their own. And they pulled it up, and Ezra Levant even did a video talking about it, saying, look, it doesn't look like there's enough people in support of Alberta independence to actually be successful in a referendum. Now, that being said, if you read the data and you read who actually was polled in this, it's absolutely clear that a majority of the people that they polled were NDP supporters. Now, what does that tell you? That they polled a minority of the province, because you just look at the last election, the NDP didn't sweep federally. It just didn't happen, right?
Wow, no, and that's part of being
a data provincially.
Yeah, no, that's part of being a data scientist, is learning how, data has certain qualities and how much do you trust quality. I mean, yeah, that's a good example. Like people would ask me, what did I think was the support for independence? I'd go to another piece of data. I'd say, well, I was at the AGM last year and we had 16 people on the board of directors had to be elected, and we elected 8 that were pro-separatists out of 16. So
right.
I would say that 50% based on that chunk of data. But then I would go look at a by-election that occurred in a riding, and I go, holy shit, 60% voted for the Conservative guy and 20% voted for the NDP guy. Well, then I'm going to make a pretty fair assumption that, anyways, it's, that's, and then the other thing that was interesting that's happening in Alberta while you were gone is, did you hear in Japan about the data breach in Alberta?
But the data breach in Alberta? No.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't hear about the data breach, right? So,
well, I heard about what they came to do that cease and desist while you were speaking at one of those events. Is that what you're talking about, or is that different?
Yeah. So the cease and desist there was that Elections Alberta was told that a group, the Centurion Project in this instance, a project that I've lent my voice to, was using an illegal copy of the electoral list. Okay. That's just an allegation at this point. I don't know if it's true or not, blah, blah, blah. Irrelevant. I'm just going to say that it's interesting that in the middle of supposedly a data breach, it was pretty ironic that this is the moment that the federal government decides to send 20 million census notes to people asking them about their most intimate data whatsoever, right? Like, so people who are really upset about the data breach are like, ooh, somebody got a hold of my name and my address. I'm like, yeah, somebody got a hold of your name and address. But meanwhile, you filled out a survey telling the government your name, address, sex, sexual orientation, what you ate for dinner, how many rooms you have in your bedroom, who you work for, and so on and so on. So please,
the expiry date on the back of your card and the little 3-digit code.
Yeah. So you're clutching pearls pretty hard there that somebody shared your address. Meanwhile, you just posted a picture of the dinner you had at some restaurant 3 minutes ago on Facebook, right? folks, like, and that was an interesting thing too this week. Like, nobody, King Charles wrote the throne speech or read the throne speech in England, right? Like the British had. Oh, did you see that? Oh man, now I'm reminded of some of the funny things we could talk about this week. Like,
All right. I'm also just trying to navigate the space here. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the Labour Party in England got absolutely decimated, right? And what's his name? Starmer should have resigned. Like by all.
Yeah, well, he should have resigned. I was like, I mean, but this is the old ways of being proper and doing what's called on you to do are over. Yeah. I mean, look at what Justin Trudeau did. He should have resigned long before he got out of there. Yeah. But you don't have to if you.
Yeah. So anyway, Starmer got clobbered, and then yesterday was the throne speech, and their throne speech is no different than ours. It's the same sort of tradition. So King Charles read their throne speech, and then King Charles, same thing, like bluntly reads like, "My ministers will implement digital ID," and I'm like, oh my god, like. So you still got people clutching
the monarch. The monarch still exists, man, and people tell us that it's just a symbolism role, that kind of thing.
Yeah, let UG play it for a second. Like just hear what he had to say.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
So, like one step closer to social credit, right? Like one step closer. Like,
how would we pass a law that would make it so that you have to have webcams in Buckingham Palace? You know what I mean? Like, they don't want their privacy infringed on, but everybody else can have their digital IDs and.
By the way, like UG, just don't play the scene again, but just put that picture back up again for a second, UG. Like, look at that's like. How do you take this guy seriously? Like he's sitting there with like, what is that? Like a sealskin fur jacket with the crown and like, oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, I need something to drink.
Yeah, you do.
They got these vending machines everywhere in this town. It's amazing. So you just pick what you want. I'll have some water and then just tappy tap if it works. Oh, please tell me it works. That's a no-go.
Oh, press again. Did it go or?
I think it went. Yeah, that's the one I want. It's flawless until the second I want to use it on camera. Oh, I'll go to another machine then. I guess I don't have any coins on me. Oh, but yeah, that's the thing. In Japan, it's always been a cash-based society, but there's more and more cashless stuff going on these days.
What's the craziest vending machine you've seen so far? I mean, selling Apple products, that's mine. Or like, what's the biggest thing you can buy from a vending machine? Can you buy a car? Just about.
No, it's not like Texas. You can get a car and a vending machine in Texas, but it's mostly just drinks and candies and whatever. Yeah, there we go. It worked. I got my drink. This is the one thing I love. You get a lot of this in Tokyo where you have like small bottles. Because you don't always want to go out and get a whole big bottle and then you got to lug it around. You just want a small drink. And so you can get this like little 280 milliliter bottle and have a quick sip. So you don't have to carry around the garbage with you.
Quickly speaking about Texas, you saw who was on Joe Rogan this week, Gad Saad, right? So Gad is a Montreal academic, right? A good friend of Jordan Peterson, frequent guest on Joe Rogan. Gad did the Parasitic Mind, and then this week he released the Suicidal Empathy. So Gad has a book called Suicidal Empathy, and Gad's theme of his book is that Western culture, specifically female Western culture, has become so sympathetic that it's suicidal, right? Like you're sympathetic to your abuser, sympathetic to the invading culture, sympathetic to so many bad people to the
The
point of
barbarians are at the gates. Like,
barbarians are at the gate. Anyways, Gad was on Joe Rogan. UG showed the clip there real quick, and Gad on Joe Rogan announced that he's moving to the US. So
good
the
for him.
brain drain
Get
that
the
you
hell
talked
out
about
of him.
earlier is 100% real. Gad said, like, to what I
honestly
said
can't believe
earlier.
it took him so long. I really, I thought that would have happened a long time ago. But I mean, he's on the cusp. I mean, the Canadian society is on the cusp of actually. I'm trying to speak over this because I don't want to get a copyright strike because of this music.
Yeah.
But
Gad fought for us. Gad put up a good fight. He didn't want to leave willingly. He put up a good fight, tried to educate people, and then finally he's like, I give up. And I don't blame him for giving up. I just don't. And
no,
yeah.
I'm with you on that. I'm absolutely with you on that. I think I kind of see his struggle as your struggle, Marty. Like, I'm on my way out. We're in Japan right now. We're gonna be back in Canada, but we won't be there for very long before we're gone. And we have plans on living in Texas. So many people are on their way out, and for good reason. I mean, what we're talking about with this whole Alberta independence being thwarted at the paperwork level, like, it's unbelievable. They won't even allow people to, at least like with the Quebecers, they allowed them to have their referendum. That was just back in the 90s. I think they're so afraid of it actually going through because of what happened in Brexit that they just want to stop it.
Yeah, well, that was the most common example, or example cited today, because in light of the ruling, rules for thee and not for us, right? Everybody keeps bringing up Quebec. Like, Quebec apparently was able to have a referendum and it was perfectly constitutional, but Alberta trying to hold a referendum is unconstitutional. Yeah, there's a lot to. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Alberta is a more important piece of Confederation, and Ottawa's not going to let us go easily, and we're witnessing that. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Hey, we don't want to run out of time. So what's been like? I haven't heard about Trump too much. I mean, Trump flew to China today. There's that. There's the 1 day delay, and I haven't heard about it much. Have you heard more? Like, has it made the news in Japan?
What? Yeah, it's made the news a bit in Japan, and what I've heard mostly is just how diplomatic Trump is in this whole thing. And we saw a situation when Trump has asserted the Monroe Doctrine. They're now nicknamed it the Donroe Doctrine. But the way Trump does things is he talks a big game, and he gets people to basically gives them enough rope to hang themselves with. And I don't think Xi Jinping is stupid, not like what Carney's doing. And he's pragmatic. China was the only country other than Canada to challenge the US tariffs, but they backed down off of that. Their retaliatory policies are gone. They've finished. The United States has positioned itself in a way that makes China not really hold many of the cards anymore. With what happened in Venezuela, with what's happened in with the Strait of Hormuz, and with Iran, all of that. So Trump went over there and spoke with him. I don't know any of the details of what happened in the talks, but I think things are moving in a diplomatic way. But I think America holds a lot of the cards, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't intend it to be this way, but I made a little tweet about this morning that got a lot of traction. I basically said that Mark Carney's about to get a bit of a dose of reality, because Carney, in my very simple opinion, Carney went to China like 2 months ago trying to make deals and came back all happy that he made a couple of deals with China. I think Trump is either going to make some really big deals with China or tell China, hey, don't do that, and back off. Either way, I think Carney's about to get a bit of a slap in the face in the next couple of days, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Sorry, I'm just entering this park here. I was just reading over the rules just to make sure that it wasn't a case where I can't live stream here.
Oh, okay.
They've been cracking down on people live streaming and things like that in Japan because of a lot of really really rude people doing really rude things, and harassing people. So this is Yoyogi, but Yoyogi Park's actually over that way. This is like a really nice nature walk that comes through this way here. If you can see that on the camera.
Is that something sort of equivalent to Central Park? Is a big park in the downtown? Yeah, okay. Yugi put
Yugi's got it right there. Yeah, it's huge, huge.
Okay.
And yeah, it's this big, nice, amazing nature trail that ends. The walk that I'm taking you on, it ends at a temple, a shrine is down at the end. So I won't be able to go into there because like you can't photograph and what have you in that area, but can in this like forested trail area. It's really something else. This is why I like to come here, especially in the summertime. When you come here in the summer, it's always at least like 10 degrees cooler when you get into the trees and stuff.
I'm going to ask a really bizarre question, but are there 4 seasons in Japan or just 2 or 3 like some other parts of the world? Like some parts of the world have a wet and dry season, not necessarily 4. Are there 4 in Japan?
Yeah, there are 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
In Tokyo, it doesn't get really that cold. Like you get cold times, but it's like you don't get like big hits of snow or anything like that. You might get the odd sprinkling, and then like freezing conditions. It'll like sometimes drop below 0, but it's usually like +5 even on the cold days.
They don't put on snow tires.
Not in Tokyo, no.
No.
But you drive north, and then you have like like the Japanese Alps and all of that stuff. Some ski hills that are really well known. I've been to a few of them, and I think the island's very long, right? So you go from very cold conditions to very tropical conditions. When you get down really south, you go to like Kyushu or even further down in the island of Okinawa. It's like tropical down there, completely different from how it is here.
Are your kids becoming a bit familiar with Japan? Like, what do they look forward to when they go there, other than seeing grandma, grandpa? Like, what's their big thrill? Anything they want
The
to
food,
do? The food. Oh,
the food, and then we always go to. We take them to the theme parks. We used to go to Disney until Disney started like trying to trans people's kids, so we don't go there anymore. So we just got back from Fuji-Q Highland. It's like a Six Flags kind of place right at the base of Fuji Mountain in Shizuoka. It's about an hour and a bit away from here, by a rapid service train, not the Shinkansen, but another rapid service. They go really fast.
and
But,
what do you look forward to going there then, other than visiting with family?
Food. The food by far. The food here is amazing. And a lot of people just think like sushi or whatever, right? When they think Japanese food. No, like sushi is just one thing. But yeah, there's so many good kinds of food that you just can't get in Canada, like period. You just can't get it. So I always put on about 10 pounds when I come here because I just go enjoy all of that. It's fantastic.
Cool.
And the scenery. I mean, like this is beautiful, right? This isn't what you expect when you're thinking of Tokyo, right?
No, not at all. Like I said, I mean, you're walking in Central Park right now. It's pretty quiet. I mean, I'd like to see you do the same walk, 4 hours from now at 6 p.m. Does it change dramatically at 6 p.m.? I imagine it does.
Oh, it does. So Yoyogi Park is really famous because not this section, but the other part over there, they have a tremendous amount of sakura trees. That's the cherry blossom trees. And in the springtime, they'll get so many people that want to picnic under the cherry blossoms because it's only a short window where they come. And especially there'll be a time during the cherry blossom where the petals just start to fall and it looks like snow. Like it looks like it's snowing under these cherry blossom trees. It's fantastic.
Wow.
And the craziest part about the whole thing is so many people turn up to the same spot at one time that the cell service can't handle it. So the cell towers get overburdened and everybody's cell phones don't work. It's crazy. Yeah, it's quite the experience here. Quite the experience. But
And as you're walking, are you getting stares? No.
from a few people here and there. I got a couple of stares. Not really an issue because I'm not in like a private place where a lot of people have been getting in trouble with the whole live streaming thing is going into places where there's an expectation of privacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm just in a public walk and many people are taking pictures and doing all kinds of things.
Now, your
You
image
don't
right
do this
now
on a
is
train or anything, right? Like that would be rude.
yeah. Your
over here.
image is really pixelated right now. Like you are going deep
Oh.
into the forest, and I think your cell is definitely
Okay.
being hindered. Just mentioning it. That's all.
I'm gonna turn around then. Because
Yeah.
I'm almost right at the end of the walk anyway, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
turn
you're
around and go
going
the other
deep
way.
in the forest right now, which is
Yeah,
where I'm
it's-
going next week. I'm actually planning. I need a break, and Friday I went and did groceries yesterday. I'm going hiking on Friday. I need a couple of days in the bush.
Oh well, you have to tell me about this because you said that you're planning a trip out to British Columbia at the end of June or somewhere around there, right?
Yeah. So it's something called the Sunshine Coast. So it's a trail. It's a trail north of you, like north of Whistler. So at first so it's a friend of mine who's from British Columbia invited me and said, "Hey Marty, you want to come hiking?" And at first I thought he was referring to the West Coast Trail, right? And no, it's not the West Coast Trail on the island. It's the Sunshine Coast Trail. So it's north of Squamish, north of Whistler, and it's on that coast, on your coast.
Pretty sure it's west, isn't it? Isn't it west of there? Because like there's just like the mountain range, and then Sunshine Coast is just on the other side of the mountains from.
There you go. So Yuji's got it. Where's Squamish roughly speaking on this map? Okay. My bad. I thought the coast went further straight up north, but you're right. It's west. So is that the red dot there that he's showing?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah. So somehow or other, we're gonna drive and then take a water ferry that's gonna go further west and north and drop us off, and then we're gonna walk our way back through coastal flats and do about 160 kilometers of hiking. Anyways, so it's supposedly we need to walk for about 10 days, but I told my buddy that, hey, I'm not just going to show up on the day. Well, I mean, I can show up on the day of the start of the hike, but we're driving over there. So I'm going to, I'll let you know the dates and I'm going to come for a visit, man. Like I'll be there. Either I'll see you before the hike. Technically at this point, the hike is June 20th to June 30th. So I can either come see you before or after.
Yeah,
if I come
we'll
see you after,
after.
What's that?
We'll be gone after.
You'll be gone, son of a bitch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, we can visit before the hike.
Yeah. Probably better if I go before because then I won't stink as bad. Usually when I come back from a 10-day hike, I stink.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But we could set something up. Maybe you do a get together again, maybe in Squamish, or we'll figure something out.
Yeah, it's on the way, right? I mean, so we'll stop in Squamish the night before, do our little thing, and then maybe the next day we'll carry on and try and stay sober. So I'm not nothing worse than starting a long hike when you're hungover. Done that once in my life. It's not a good start. Like, not a good start. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, before I hooked up with you tonight. Big Joe DeRusso is in Calgary, so me and I went for pizza with Joe this evening.
Oh wow, awesome!
Yeah.
How'd that go?
He's such a nice guy. Treated me and Karen. Met him and his wife. Had some pizza. He's in town to see his sister-in-law and whatnot. I wish we could have had longer. I told him because we have the show tonight, but. I've ever since I met him at your event there in February last year, I've stayed in touch with Joe. He's just one of those nice guys.
That's awesome. I wonder, is he in the chat tonight?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, because he was just out with you guys. That's right.
Yeah.
So what else what else is happening in Canada? Because what I've seen recently was, this is one of the stories that popped into my feed and really, I mean, it just pissed me off really at the end of the day, because this was in some committee in Canada, and you can pull it up, where, Canadians have been banned from using plastic products. You can't have straws, you can't have this or that. But guess what? They're not banned from doing making plastic products and selling them to the rest of the world. Yuji, could you play this clip?
To the question, though, is why is it okay for Canada to export these materials for consumer use in other countries, but we can't use them here at home?
So we are domestically doing what we can to protect.
So then why enable other countries to pursue a toxic?
Well, my hope is through global plastics treaties, we're actually going to move the world away from.
Why not stop exporting? I mean, that would contribute to your goals, right?
I think, well, first, common goals for all Canadians to not want to have plastics washing up on our shores and not have them in our.
So you're telling me that it's okay for plastic to fall in or be dumped into the Milk River in Montana, flow into Alberta, and that's okay because it's okay to export it to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It still shows up on our shores. So I'm trying to understand the hypocrisy of the changes.
So this just goes to show that it's not about saving the planet. Like it's never been about saving the planet. It's about compliance. It's about, and especially when it gets ridiculous, the more ridiculous and the more compliant you are to ridiculous things, the better. Because it just shows what they can get away with the general population.
Well, it's not just plastic, right? I mean, you can have the same discussion with her of why do we continue to export asbestos? I mean, asbestos is bad. I actually think asbestos is worse than plastic. I can see a reason to ban it, but we export it. We export coal. We're not allowed to burn coal in our own country, but we export coal for others to burn. Like she's the worst minister. She's the environment minister for people who didn't know. She's there's not a good one anyways. There's no good minister, but she's one of the worst ones. Actually, can we, just before we run out of time, the other really fun story I wanted to talk about today is the Nate Esquire or whatever, there was a federal MP who ran for the Liberal provincial leadership race in Ontario, and he got defeated on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, he got defeated by the people that
the Sri Lankans. Yeah, he claimed election interference, and now he's filing a complaint. Irregularities, like, because his people said, this guy, I don't know if that's a clip of him complaining, but he complained hard. It's like, dude, now you know how we feel.
Oh, it's unbelievable because, well, I mean, this is what people have been saying, like people are concerned for genuine reasons about demographic shifts in their own countries. Japan is actually having the same concerns right now. In fact, let's just come out and say it. The Muslims have become a big problem in Japan for a number of reasons. This is the thing. You want to move to a new country because, your old country sucks and you need to move to a better place. Well, comply with the customs and the culture of that new place, right? If it's such a better place for you, maybe you should behave like the people, like the locals.
Well,
you know what I mean?
put that picture back up, that last one there you had up there, UG. I mean, it's we don't need to get a lot of details, but Nate, the candidate is the guy in blue, right? So he tried to hang out with these guys, pretend he's one of them, and now he's shocked that they didn't elect him. They actually elected one of their own. Sorry, folks, but you know what? Like the Sesame Street song, like one of these things is not like the others. Why is he surprised that they didn't vote for him? Like, no matter what, it makes sense. You elect your representative, and he's with the party that brought in millions and millions of new immigrants to this country, and now he's shocked that the immigrants are voting for their own. You shouldn't be shocked. This was
No.
predictable, but it's just been funny to watch him whine because he's whining, and now the rumor is he's going to go scorch earth, and he's going to actually bitch about what his party's been doing. I hope you do, Nate. I hope you do.
I hope he does. Yeah.
I absolutely hope you do. Yeah.
Let it fall apart. But this is the dangers though of like what God Saad was talking about, this, suicidal empathy. You bring in all these people, they don't follow your customs, they don't assimilate to your society, and they bring their own customs, and then they take over the politics, and then they vote in their own people. And a lot of their beliefs are incompatible with the local beliefs, right? And the established norms. That's the difficulty. Japan's going through a similar thing because of demographic collapse here as well. And, now it's become an issue. It's become an issue because there are certain towns where that's what's happening. You're getting people come in, become more politically active. The big thing here with Islam is they're pushing to have graves. So because Japan's such a small place, they have traditions on how people are what's the word for it? When somebody dies, how you take care of the body. Everyone in Japan is cremated, and then they have, small burial sites. Now, Muslims, they have particular practices that they refuse to let go of. And they've been fighting and fighting and fighting for these Muslim-specific grave sites in Japan. And finally, the prime minister of Japan just got up and said, if you want to have him buried a certain way, take him back to the place where they bury him that way.
There you go.
That's it. Ship the bodies out, because we do things a certain way here, and that's the way it's going to be. And we're seeing a lot more places around the world, Western societies, that are putting their foot down, and they're saying, forget this. We're not going to appease other people who came from backwards places that want to do backwards things. You want to come here, you want to assimilate to the society here and do well, you're welcome. You're welcome to come. But if that's not your prerogative, well, there's the door. That's exactly it.
That's the whole premise of Gad Saad's book. But Gad says we're not willing, we as a Canadian society, to do what's necessary, which is to close the border and admit that we had one sentence that was terrible. It was one of the worst sentences ever, which is diversity is our strength. Like he stands firm that is one of the worst things we could have ever convinced ourselves of. Diversity is a strength. It's at best a statistical measure. That's it. And too high of a diversity is not good. But yeah.
Canada has a real problem, has a real cancer in it. And you see it all the time. It's this idea of like hating your own culture. America has a similar thing. Like there's a lot of people that just hate America. But I find it much more prevalent in Canada. Is there people waving?
I feel like waving at the guy over your shoulder. He just looks like he's yeah.
We're gonna walk back through Harajuku. This is the area we were walking through earlier.
Yeah, we're done the first hour. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but we should.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
there it is.
We're at an hour and 3 or something like that. So let's.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Yuji, if you want to pop some of the chats up, they're a lot.
Oh yeah, because we don't. So explain to people, we don't do the special membership only after an hour. It's still there. But now we start taking.
So things have changed a bit with the show. Like we used to be do the first hour and then cut that up and then make it a separate video on the main channel. Yuji's actually been the one cutting it up and putting it on the
videotaping
channel.
You over your shoulder.
Is that right?
Are you popular? Do you get recognized? No, not quite.
Not in Japan, no, never.
Oh.
Well, not never. I wouldn't say never. There was someone last year when I was out here, or 2 years ago when I was out here. Her name is Bimo Yoko. So she was making content before, and she saw that I was streaming in Tokyo, and she's like, "Hey, there's a protest happening across town in Ikebukuro. Do you want to meet up and we'll go to that protest?" So that happened last time I was streaming here. That was something else. And and now we're friends. We just met up the other day.
You're definitely in a touristy part of town. Like there's more that looks very touristy over your shoulder. Like
this is very touristy.
A lot of white people. It's not all Japanese or.
That's right. That's right. You'll see a lot of that, and lots of just like tourist trappy kind of things, all around. And it's a Thursday morning, right? And it's quite busy, right? That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's something else. I'm also trying to navigate the crowd so I'm not bumping into anybody as well. Was this Australia is expensive from Myron?
Yeah, that was
There's
for they're talking about the internet in Australia.
Oh, Australia is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like Japan. Which, it's unfortunate because you used to be able to get just a SIM card so you can have a phone number so you can call people. But they have restrictions against that in Japan because there's some terrorist activity a number of years back, and they used burner phones to communicate with each other. So they just banned burner phones in the whole country. You can get data SIMs, but you can't get phone numbers.
Several years ago, probably a decade now, I hiked up to Everest Base Camp, and the trail from Lukla all the way to base camp was just littered with little SIM cards all over the place. So the porters, whenever they'd have a couple of bucks, they would stop at one of the local shops and buy a little SIM card and pop their SIM card in there for whatever, 10 minutes of data. But the whole countryside was just polluted with SIM cards. But wow. I haven't traveled in a while. So you're saying there's not even a physical SIM card anymore. It's all digital.
Yeah, they're called eSIMs. Yeah, you just change your mobile carrier on your phone, download an eSIM, and then you're good to go.
Right on.
Yeah. So we had, was it Angela Jenner saying the setback was disgusting by this judge from the Alberta Independence?
Yeah, well, it is disgusting. It's disappointing because, we always preach about how we want to have democracy and let the people decide. Well, there's no motivation for that among, like, what would you call it? The ruling class, the people who hold the power at the moment. They want to do anything to thwart the people from being able to have their say. But this is happening across the globe. It's not just endemic to Canada. It's Europe. You see a lot of this all over the place, banning political parties because they think they might win. That kind of thing.
Well, and this judgment is a little more than just a judgment. We've seen that too many times in the last little while. Like, people are calling it activist judges, right? Like they're ruling on what's in front of them, but then they're expanding on it, and people are like, no, it's not your job. Like, is it A or B? And you say, well, no, it's not A, it should be B. That's fine. Then you don't give us your opinion on what C and D and E should be. And so the judges are like, we're expanding too far. And, and like, this judgment is like a 68-page judgment, and people are like, 68 pages. No, the question is the ruling, or is the petition fair or not? Oh, that's a whole other one. That's even separate from everything we talked about, what you got on the page there.
That's me. Yeah, it's from Mark Nixon. Alberta First Nations Chief took 55,000 to oppose oil sands, opposes Alberta independence.
Yeah, they're getting, well, that's even worse.
Vetoes for hire. It's just unbelievable, man.
Totally. Yeah.
So corrupt. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about was the corrupt Toronto police. So they finally busted a ring of Toronto police that were involved in, like, gangster activity, even like negotiating hits and all kinds of things. It was unreal.
Wow.
They bust the ring, and it's like, yeah, okay. When they're busting a ring like that, how bad is it really? Listen to this. This is crazy.
Investigators allege that Toronto police officers had unlawfully accessed personal information. This information was then funneled to other criminals who carried out shootings and other violent offenses.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I got
Yeah, insane.
my own
Insane.
228. I had a liberal person I know that thinks anyone who's conservative is ignorant because they are not liberal.
Oh yeah, well that's tribalism. Is that it's so yeah? That's in relation to the comment I said. Like they're cheering the destruction. They're cheering the erosion of our democratic principles, and then just because they're on the other side without realizing what they're cheering. Absolutely.
But you got to really look at the fundamentals of what liberalism is, right? And get back to like classical liberalism, where what were the most important tenets of that? It was individualism, it was liberty, freedom from free speech, freedom from unwarranted seizures, things like that, and tolerance for other ideas. Just literally repeat those to anyone that you know that claims to be a liberal, and say like, okay, well, how much do you adhere to any of these main driving principles of liberalism?
Yeah.
Like they're actually illiberal. They have some serious authoritarian streaks going on. It's unbelievable. And yeah, I don't know what it would take to wake people up about that, but they don't believe in individualism. They believe in forms of collectivism. They don't believe in private property. They believe in, the greater good for the state, or whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. It's never turned out well for anybody and any people. They don't believe in free speech, especially the free speech that isn't convenient for them. They don't believe in any of these principles. So yeah, I'd like to challenge anybody that claims to be a liberal. You're probably not liberal at all. You're probably just an authoritarian.
Makes sense. I have another $10 super chat from, what is it, Myron
Ends.
Myron Ends. Yeah, the tool being used is sometimes referred to as a Swedish nut lathe, otherwise known as the crescent wrench, just as needed.
I know the tool, and we all know the joke about the tool, but I'm not sure what the reference is in here. Is it, like, do you even have those in your shop, Clyde? Like those should be illegal. Crescent wrenches should be illegal.
I have one that I got because. Do you know this channel AVE?
I watched him this week. He just come back from Japan and he showcased a whole bunch of tools he bought. Oh yeah.
So he has the one tool. It's a crescent wrench with like a hammerhead on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I recognized it because I knew where it came from. So I picked one up because it's a handy little tool. But it's a miner's wrench. The reason why it's got that hammerhead on it is actually it's not a hammerhead. It's a space for the mechanism to go even higher, so that when you open it up, it can go to a huge open jaw, right? I think it goes like an inch and 3/4 or something crazy. And then the other side of it is it's not just a loop; it's actually got a 12-point box end on the other side, and then the other bit can be used as a hammer. Now the point of it was they developed that wrench for the guys at Inco in Sudbury to open Victaulic clamps with. So you could do one tool to do everything on a Victaulic clamp. And the idea was, it was just that. It's a handy one. And I have one of those. I use it all the time for like big pipes or what do you call it? Tie rod ends, things like that, and on big trucks. And then also for opening up the acetylene bottle.
There you go. Yeah. No,
that's the one.
He matter of factly had a video like 2 days ago because if I understand his video, he just come back from Japan, and so he had a whole bunch of tools, including tools that he got at Japan's equivalent of the dollar store, and even tools at the dollar store in Japan are better than tools at, say, Canadian Tire in Canada. Like the Japanese like don't do anything cheap. Nothing cheap in Japan. Nothing cheap.
Well, there's cheap stuff, the Chinese stuff, but if you buy anything that's made in Japan, it's generally revered as like having a higher level of craft to it.
Yeah.
So
And
especially their tools.
especially woodworking tools, right? I've heard people making a trip to Japan specifically to buy chisels and the sharpening stone that is matched to that chisel. Like you don't just buy a sharpening stone. I mean, you think about the stone you're going to buy. I mean, like, oh, okay, wow, yeah.
Finishing saws, the straight handled finishing saws. They're I mean, in Canada, all my carpenter friends that have saws like that, they're all Japanese made.
Yeah.
They're really, really nice.
My chef Evan that I used to hike with, Chef Evan, all his knives were Japanese. I mean, he would never cook without a proper Japanese. A Japanese cooking knife is like a samurai sword, right? And I mean, it's whatever. It's 150 hours to make a knife. Like, wow. Yeah.
Well, actually, there's a lot to that. So a lot of the sword making families, they, after buying and selling swords and all that stuff came to an end, or a lot of civilians weren't allowed to have them. They just went into the culinary space. So they started making kitchen knives, like commercial kitchen knives and
4 foot long kitchen knives.
yeah. And once they have those for cutting the big tuna fish at the Tsukiji market and stuff.
Yep.
They're like literally swords. But also scissors. Scissors are quite the craft, man. Like to hand make scissors is quite an accomplishment, and they're very expensive here if you want the good high end ones.
Yeah, we have another super chat from Maroons228. It's pretty much time to buy an island and move off this place.
Just move to America. America's turning around, folks. Like, yeah, you have some places like New York and Los Angeles and stuff. New York is really suffering. They elected a commie. Like, it's unbelievable. And they're all like, whoa, he didn't do what he said he was going to do. They never do.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah.
So hopefully New York learns from that. There was a recent thing that came out in the news because Mamdani did, and what was it? He did like a social media post where he was knocking on the door of some billionaire's condo or whatever. And he's like, I'm coming for you. I'm going to tax your stuff. And then the guy was interviewed and they said, like, what'd you think of that? And he's like, it was really creepy. The mayor at my door, like making social media posts. He's like, and so the very next day, I got together with my colleagues and we looked at moving or expanding in Florida. So I think it was like $4 billion moved out of New York from one social media post. Unbelievable.
Yuji, while you searched the Scottish election last week or this week, the Green Party elected a guy who is a temporary foreign student. Like, he's on a visa. It's similar to the British election. The guy's on the temporary foreign student visa. He's not a resident, but he got elected to a 5-year term. So, and he's going to get and he delivered a speech. I think he's trans. That guy.
Oh no, what?
Can't hear him.
There we go. I am transgender Tamil immigrant. My pronouns are they, them, it says.
Yeah.
My name is Dr. Q Manavanan. I am a transgender Tamil immigrant. My pronouns are they, them.
Whoa.
He got elected. He can't live in the country.
Crazy.
He can't benefit of any system, but he got elected, and now kind of has to stay there for 5 years and get paid like 170,000 pounds a year or whatever. Like, what a crazy world we live in.
There's no like rules. Like, you have to be a resident to even enter politics.
I don't know that. I'm not Scottish, but I mean, this made the news this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unreal. There's that other one in the US where the substitute teacher came in and was saying, like, these are my pronouns and you got to check all this. you got to adhere to this when speaking to me. And then the kids in the class were not having any of it. And then they started challenging it. They're like, no, we want to talk about these other pronouns. and the teacher's like, well, no, I'm just teaching you about this now. Well, what about the other ones on the screen? No, you don't have to talk about that. And the students are like, oh, so this is just all about you then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this lady. And that's what she was. Well, I mean, she wasn't a lady. She was a woman. Just, you got to earn the name lady. But it's unbelievable. What I'm really happy about, though, is seeing videos like that. It really shows that the next generation of people are just done with it. They're over it. They're not having any of this stuff. And it can't last in the face of that. So
No, I mean,
as
we're like, as a very
ahead.
simple example of that, we're seeing more and more little municipalities passing laws against pride sidewalks and flags in schools and stuff like that. Like, it's small, but it's a beginning, right? Enough is enough is enough is enough. Like, sidewalks need 2 white lines and a sign that says stop. That's it. They don't need to be multicolored. Yeah, like those sidewalks.
That works.
That's it.
Works
That's all
just
you
fine.
need. Yeah.
And everyone can adhere to it. It's hilarious. There's you don't actually see a lot of that stuff here in Japan, to be honest. Not a lot of it. And people just, I mean, people are polite here, and when people are pushy about their identity and crap, people will just they'll give you the old yes man thing. But as soon as you're gone, they're like, yeah, that person was a total jerk. I can't believe that they would even push that on us. You know what I mean? That's just the way it's treated. You should pull up that clip. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just had a super chat from Van C guy. Says even Japan wants the USA to trade Quebec for Point Roberts.
We have this quote every week. That's 3 weeks in a row now where somebody's made fun of Point Roberts and trading it for Quebec. And every week I say the same thing. Yes, you can have it. Like, we'll take Quebec.
It's yours.
We'll take teeny wee little Point Roberts. We're done. It's fair trade.
That's not a fair trade. You got to deal with all the.
In Thailand. Oh, sorry.
Why are you in Thailand? No, I'm in Japan. I'm in Tokyo right now. I've never been to Thailand, actually. I've always wanted to go. I heard the food is amazing there. I'm a big foodie. Like, I love traveling and trying other. Obviously. Yeah, pull up that other clip that I had for you, Yuji. I got this. The clip. There's a young guy. I met him a few years ago. His name's Tyler Hockley, and he was talking to another podcaster.
Young
and
Tyler.
He just comes out with it, and he just says, "Listen, man, we're just waiting for the boomers to die because, like, they're pretty much our impedance on our ability to even move forward in life." This is crazy. Have a listen to this.
Do you think Canada would be better off if all the liberal boomers just died?
Yeah, of course. Of course. They're the largest voting bloc, and they only vote liberal. Of course. Yeah.
They only vote liberal, and they like don't give a shit about us. So it's almost like, okay, it sounds mean to say, but it's like, why would we care about them when they're voting for people that literally screw over our generation? And they'll say that we're like a heartless generation or whatever for like having this take. But it's like, it goes both ways, right? Like, why would we care about them and them living just like ride their little bicycle with their stupid little pension? Why would we care about that when they don't care about us and our livability in the country? You know, it goes both ways.
The thing about baby boomers, right? We should care about them because they do have all this voting power, and it does affect us.
Yeah.
So we got to try to somehow persuade them into not voting for blatant retardation.
Do you think Canada?
That's a take. That's a take. And I especially like the part of the take where he's saying, you know, it sounds like a heartless thing to say, but like we're the heartless generation. It's like, well, who are the heartless ones? The ones that, you know, took a wealthy society, a wealthy Western society, and turned it into shambles. And they're you know, living, soaking off every last drop of it, you know, getting blood from a stone, just to screw over the next generation so that they can have their pensions in the moment. Like, it's crazy. But this is the sentiment, right? More and more young people are looking at the situation like this and going, yeah, forget it. why should we even care? Why should we care at all? So the other aspect of this is, well, you can wait for them to die off, but you're not going to be the next big demographic. The next big demographic is going to be all those foreigners that they brought in to replace.
It is the next. Actually, it is the next demographic. What you just said is it's observed in the data, and the government doesn't talk about it. The government has a whole ton of data that shows that the millennials and the next generation, whatever they're called, the alphas, are very, very, very different than previous generations, and they're disengaged, they're leaving, and it feels like in some senses that the government's already given up on them. They've already said, whatever, they're gone, and let's not even bother trying to win them back. Like they are noticeably
crazy.
Yeah, they're noticeably different in attitude, completely different.
And I don't blame them at all. I mean, I kind of have that same attitude. Okay, well, you expect me to just pay all the bills? Forget it. Like I'm looking at the situation right now where, I'm getting taxed to living shit. And then what? I'm just expected to keep doing that in perpetuity. Well, the government that I didn't even vote for keeps increasing the deficit and keeps increasing debt on services rendered that aren't even infrastructure for the future.
Yeah, put yourself in the shoes of somebody born in, let's say, 1997 or later, right? 1997 to 2021, right? That 20-year period. You're born in a period where 9/11 occurred. You've never known traveling the way some of us have known it. As far as you've known, travel has always been a nightmare. Take off your shoes, get on the plane, do this. Yeah. Then you went through COVID. You did school by remote. You didn't get to play sports in school. You had to wear a mask. You didn't graduate. Then you come out in a world with high unemployment and blah, blah, blah. Like if you were born between 1998 and 2021, man, like your loyalty to this country is like zero. Like what's this country done for you? Nothing, right? Like, I mean, I was born in 1967. When I was in 1982, when I was like 16 years old, life was glorious, man. Like I showed the kids the other day, like, I played sports. I went to school, smoked cigarettes off the property, drank when I was 14, bought Bruce Springsteen albums, got a car that was reasonable, had parking at the school, didn't have to worry about any of that, went to dances, went to great movies. Life was glorious, man. The equivalent of a modern kid, no, sucks. Totally sucks. And the government knows it.
Yeah, the government knows it. And they know that the kids today are not going to be the voting demographic in the future. So that's why they're pandering to all the newcomers that they brought in, right?
But then they're having a reconsideration, right? Ask Nate how it went in Ontario this week, and he's having a bit of a reconsideration.
Oh yeah, it was a royal fuck up, is what it was.
Yeah,
but it can't be undone once it's done, right?
Yeah, that guy was endorsed by Carney, and then honestly, if the Liberals wanted him, though, he would have been selected somehow or other. I mean, you can blame it on all sorts of things. At the end of the day, the Liberals didn't want him. So, anyways,
have a look at this. This is something that you get in Tokyo. I don't know if you can hear it because the noise cancellation was very loud. These are trucks that just like roll up and down the street with advertisement on them. They're empty. They're totally empty trucks. But they just they're rolling billboards, right?
Cool.
And they just blare music out of them like crazy.
It's funny. All right, Myron's. Another one says, take the money away from the Liberal voters. Watch how fast they change.
Well, how do you effectively do that?
Yeah, they would. I'm sure they would. I've heard that before, but yeah, you got to take it away from them, and it's not happening.
Well, the other thing that we're dealing with is the product of the welfare state, right? So when before immigration was pretty lax, in America and Canada for the most part, like it was pretty easy, but there wasn't a lot of people coming because if you came, you got to take care of your damn self. There wasn't a social safety net to fall on if things didn't go your way. So, you know, there was a lot more self-deportation when people didn't make it. Now it's just people. The first thing they do is they go on the dole, right? They got refugee status and people making more money than the average worker in Canada.
That's a good point. Just take away the money from anyone. Make government smaller and take away government money from anyone, and then things change dramatically. Like most of the problems we have are because government is too big and there's too much dependence on government.
Yes. And like if you look at some of the immigrant, like refugee communities in Canada, a lot of them would prefer not to be in Canada, but they're doing it because of the economic circumstances. They get a free ride, right? And that's the kicker where people are like, I can't believe how rude it is that they come here and they complain about the food while they're getting fed. But that's the way it is. If you cut them off, they would go home because it would be preferable, right? But they're doing it for the check. And of course, I'm speaking in generalizations. You know, people are going to say, "Wow, Clyde, it's not everyone." Well, not all. Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah, got Angela Jenner says, "What's the plan now for AB after this decision?"
It's in Danielle Smith's court. Everybody keeps saying this. Danielle has a premier of a province can just launch a referendum. So whether the petition was collected under a set of rules or whatnot is irrelevant. At the end of the day, 700,000 people signed a piece of paper saying we'd like a referendum on independence. So at this point it's squarely in Danielle Smith. She doesn't have to she could just accept that the citizens want a referendum. That's it. It's as simple as that. So we'll see in the coming days.
Well, it's crazy because 177,000 was the threshold. You guys nearly doubled it.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, like the judge can say the petition was done illegally, meaning what? We collected the names in blue instead of red. It's irrelevant, right? Like Mitch last week, it was a very nice visual. Mitch Sylvester had like 42 boxes, all labeled properly, and then those 42 boxes were 300 and whatever 5,000 signatures. Okay, just take those boxes and drop them in front of Danielle Smith's office and say, listen. Doesn't matter what rules they were collected under. 300,000 people said they want something from you. Go ahead, ignore it at your own risk. So that's what's happening right now. The judge says whatever that the signatures were quote unquote collected illegally. No, they weren't. They were collected by petitioners like me sitting on the side of the road collecting signatures. I collected 700 signatures myself. So what I did was illegal? That's one person's interpretation of that. Smith can ignore that at her own risk. If she wants to ignore the will of thousands and thousands of people, she can do so, but I think that would be bad for her. She's between a rock and a hard place. She's between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, and what are so it went to this judge. Now, is there a higher court that it can go to? Is there an appeal?
Yeah, it's going to go to Jeff Rath is going to file an appeal right away. But I mean, we are literally running out of time because the next referendum has to be before October 19th, which is 6 months from now.
Yes.
By the time it's passed as a motion to declare a referendum and the papers are printed, the questions formalized, blah, 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 we're running out of time to do it. Danielle would have to do something in the very coming weeks.
Japan Blue saying Japanese women are high quality.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, Clyde married one.
I married one. She's fantastic. Yeah, Yuji, you know her.
Yeah. I have another one for Japan Blue saying they elected a Muslim after 20 years since 9/11.
Yeah, right. That's freaking insane. 25 years after.
And then another one from Japan Blue saying, why can't I say bad things on Super Chat?
Oh, did
Is
you
that a
try?
rule? Yeah.
I think it won't send if it says bad things in it.
Really?
Yeah, it just gives you the like error.
Then Myron says pronouns are bold. ...
Yeah, that's how you can say it. Or just have euphemisms. That's how it works.
Next for cups for $10 says, don't think Sunshine Coast Trail is near Squamish. If it's the trail that I think it is, it goes along the Sunshine Coast from Saltbury Bay through Powell River and up the Dulcet Point. Amazing views.
Yeah, I think he's probably
way up
right. I
north.
mean, I'm only going what it's called. To me, when I looked at it on the map quickly, it looked like it was near Squamish, but I think you showed it, UJ. I think it's about what? Is that 2 hours west of Squamish? Like, how do you get there, Clyde? Like,
well, I don't know where the Sunshine Coast Trail is, but I know where the Sunshine Coast is, and it's literally just over the mountain pass. So, like from Squamish, there's a mountain pass, and then that's the Sunshine Coast, and that's on the ocean, between Vancouver Island and the mainland. That's where the Sunshine Coast is.
Yeah, I don't think
you have to take a ferry to get there.
Yeah.
There's no. They've been talking for years about making a tunnel, but like the demographics are so tiny to spend the billions of dollars to make a tunnel to go to the Sunshine Coast doesn't really
apparently
make that much sense.
we have to take a ferry or something to a place called Bliss Landing, BLISS, Bliss Landing, British Columbia. So that's the start. Bliss Landing, wherever that is.
Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, we're back in Shibuya.
I just hope I don't have to plan my days around tides. Apparently, we have to do some of that, right? Normally, when I hike in the mountains, like I start at 8 a.m., I walk till 6, and I don't have to worry about tides. But I guess here some of the days will be spent walking along the coast. Like, do you guys have tides in Squamish? Stupid question, but there are tides everywhere, right?
Yeah. There's the Howe Sound, right, that comes in.
Yeah,
and
is that Bliss Landing there?
In and out.
Yeah, it's Bliss Landing way up here. So
yeah, so that's where we're going. So I don't know how we get there. Is that a ferry or some boat or something? Somebody? Yeah,
it might be from Victoria, Powell River.
Okay, so part of the trip is I think we're taking a ferry or a boat or a private boat. Somebody takes us to the start and then we walk our way back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 160K, easy peasy. I do that all the time.
Hey, we got you talking too much for $2. This Carney's interested in Fortress N America now.
Fortress North America.
Fortress North America. Carney's interested in it now? Oh yeah. Carney has a way of like saying one thing and then a couple of days later saying a very different thing, right?
So Carney?
Yeah. I think there's going to be some upset, right? Like the Carney was saying, broadly speaking, Carney's like, we can't trust Americans. That relationship's over. So therefore, I have to cozy up with the Chinese and I have to cozy up with the Europeans. That's fine. And then Trump, that's not going to work out. And then Trump's like, oh yeah, well, watch this. So Trump is going to cozy up with the Chinese and the Europeans. So, and we're going to be left holding the bag. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, I think that whole economic pressure thing is going to work. You know, that Trump was talking about. Yes. Carney is selling Canada up Schitt's Creek, really, at the end of the day. And it's not going to end well for Canada. If they thwart this whole referendum thing, which, I mean, Alberta leaving Canada would be devastating for Canada, period. I mean, that's just where a lot of the wealth comes from. But, you know, they could survive it, obviously. But by forcing Alberta to stay, that's just going to drive more of the talent out of the country. I think there was already going to leave most of Canada to go to Alberta, but a lot of that talent in Alberta is going to go elsewhere now.
Yeah.
I think people are just not going to waste their time anymore. People have been holding on, waiting. I know, you know, people in my, you know, age demographic They've been waiting for the longest time for the real estate bubble to pop. And then it never did. And they just kept propping it up. People are just tired of waiting. Like, sorry, waited for Alberta independence, waited for this, waited for that. As soon as they see that that's not a possibility, they're just going to pack up and go.
Well,
Like I
when
said,
you
I've been
go,
getting a lot
once
of
you
people
get
asking
down
me about
there,
it.
like, yeah, once you get down there months from now, you'll be a great advocate. You'll have a success story, and you'll be telling everybody, you know, I'm predicting this. Your line of talk will be, I should have done this 10 years ago. That's what you'll be saying. And
Yes.
and then you look at somebody like Tayana, who right now, I mean, she's already down there, and I think she's transforming even more and more and more and more every day. Like, she's seeing what's going on here, and she's like, holy shit, am I glad I left. And she ain't ever coming back, right? Like,
No.
like, yeah.
No, she's never coming back. And she's
No,
in the
I
same boat.
like
Like she used the bridge. My friends over at the bridge helped
Yeah.
her with that.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
she had a shitty lawyer that abandoned her and her husband. And yeah.
Yeah,
Figured
you
things
will.
out
I'm
afterwards.
predicting this. You'll be saying I should have done this long ago. I mean, I talked to somebody the other day who's like 50 years old, and he's leaving, and he said it's not too late. Even though I'm 50, and then I give up on a bunch of things, and it feels like I'm starting all over by moving to the U.S. He's saying he's pretty confident that even though he's 50, by the time he's 55, he'll have caught up and passed where he would be if he stayed here. So imagine if you leave at 30 or 27 or 28, you're getting way ahead of yourself. So yeah.
That's it. Like a lot of people, they'll look at the fees that it might cost to get lawyers and move and do all that stuff, but they're not looking at like how much they'll gain in a short period of time and how much they'll make back what they've invested in their lawyers, right? Like some people are looking at it, like if you go under the EB3 visa or EB2, it might cost you like 30 grand to get that work done. But you'll make that back by making more than 30 grand more than you made in Canada in the first year. You know what I mean? Like you make it back so fast. But yeah, it's a short-term pain for some long-term serious gains. It's worthwhile, man. For people who are on the fence, I'd suggest to push them to go forward with it. But if I have to argue with people, I just generally say, okay, don't do it then. Like, whatever. I'm not gonna waste my energy on someone who doesn't want. I'm not gonna convince people to leave Canada.
We have another one from Javelin Blue. It says, when you guys get a moment and want a good laugh, type in Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
The land scene.
The land scene? Is that the never go full retard scene?
Is that the Lance? I don't know which scene.
Yeah, every scene in Tropic Thunder is epic. I'm thinking that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie couldn't be made today because even like half the actors wouldn't agree to it because of wokeness.
What do you think of the new? What's the one that's making the news this week? The re-release of the Greek god there. Troy. Troy's being redone, and who's the actor they chose for Troy? Like going full freaking woke, man. Like again, like
what? They already did
yeah.
Troy with Brad Pitt. It was good, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the new Troy. Here's the Odyssey.
The Odyssey. Why are they calling it the Odyssey? Is it about Troy or is it about?
Yeah. Troy is a member. Is the Odyssey by Ulysses or whatever is the story that in which Troy is, but. So the story is being redone, and there's the main character. It's not Troy. It's who's the character?
Ellen Page.
No, Troy is the town, but who's the?
Is it Achilles?
Achilles. So Achilles is the new. So this is the new Achilles in the new movie. One of the greatest warriors is some weak ass trans guy or whatever.
Is that Ellen Page or sorry the new name?
The Elliot.
Elliot Page. I'm gonna guarantee you that it's not his heel this time. It's probably the fact that he's got a dick.
Oh, God.
Sorry, had to. Oh, that's unbelievable. Yeah.
I got a super chat from, what is it? Derp McFerguson for
Derek
$5.
Ferguson. Good to see you
Yeah.
again. Thanks.
Says Danielle Smith likely won't get reelected if she ignores 300,000 signatures.
She won't.
She won't.
And somebody said, what's the next step? One of the steps that's currently happening is all those 300,000 people who signed have been encouraged to buy a membership to the United Conservative Party. And there's a movement to try and get a special general meeting between now and Christmas to force the party to do something like a referendum. So boy, Albertans have been awakened. I mean, I lived across the country over my life, and I spent a lot of time in Quebec. And I always said Quebecers really enjoyed their politics, and politics in Quebec was a blood sport. But I dare say that in the last 3-4 years, what I've seen in Alberta has been very interesting. We are politically, there's a storm brewing, and they kicked us a few. It started with the trucking convoy and the Coots and other things. Like you kick the hornet's nest, and it all goes back to Jason Kenney during COVID and others. We didn't take to that very lightly, and there's still repercussions of that. If Danielle, I agree with the comments of Derp. If Danielle ignores this or tries to bury this, she'll do so at her own risk, because that's not an insignificant number when 300,000 people in January or February take time out of their days to come and sign a piece of paper in cold weather. That's you can't ignore that number, man. Like, that's a lot of people.
No. And you can't just dismiss it in some like court hearing.
No, if you said if you did a petition online, like we see many times where people just, or just signed online, or a change.org or one of those things, sure, 300,000 is an impressive number, but it's still done online. This is 300,000 people who left their house and went somewhere and showed their ID and signed a piece of paper. 300,000 people did that. And then those same individuals are motivated now. So they're the same individuals that will buy a membership and come out to the next annual general meeting of the Conservative Party and try and influence policy. So it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's a beautiful thing.
Javelin Blue for $2 says, should be a crossing. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost back there again. Been kind of detouring to some of the little side streets. Yeah, I've looped.
You've looped?
I've looped, and I've detoured to some of the little side streets. I was just in one of the side streets where my favorite yakitori place is in Shibuya.
You're getting your miles anyways today. That's awesome.
Oh, I know, and I'm suffering for it because we've been walking a lot lately. Like we did, like when you go to a theme park, you walk and stand quite a bit. So I was doing that, and I think I pulled my hip flexor, and so I'm kind of walking funny. So I'm really feeling it in the hip this today.
Well, we should be able to get these through in the next couple of minutes, and then we'll let you go. I think it's been a great. I'm glad this worked out better. Great job, Yuji. This worked out awesome. Like really good.
I'm glad it's working out. I got another
one.
Yeah,
didn't have to worry about hosting it. That's the hard part. Thank you so much, Yuji.
Yeah, one more super chat. Bold comes from an early 80s movie called Private Eyes. Don Knotts, great movie.
Early 80s movie.
Where's James? Next for cups for $5. Again, it says ferry to Gibson, and then about hour and a half drive north, then another ferry to start the trail.
Okay. Like I said, I'm just a guest on this one. Normally, I'm the guy who organizes hikes, and I spend a lot of time. So I'm not nervous about this one. I trust the people doing it, but I'm literally, that's all I ask people is like, where do you want me at what time? And I'll be there. But I want extra days, so I'll come see you. So if we start on the 20th, are you going to be around the 16th or a few days beforehand?
Yeah, I'll be around.
Okay. I'll
be
show
around
up a few days early, and we'll go for road pops in Squamish.
Yeah, that's a plan. We'll let everyone know where it's happening too, so we can get more people to come out and say hey.
Yeah, let's finish off the super chats here. Javelin Blue says the reason Carney says one thing and means another is because the dementia is settling in. They say we're 5 to 10 years behind the U.S., so we have a Joe Biden.
Yeah, Carney's just ridiculous, man. Like I think he genuinely believes in the crap that he's saying half the time, but like he's just wishful thinking. You know what I mean? He's hoping that it'll actually pan out. It's a dying thing. This idea of a new world order is
most
actually it's been thwarted.
I agree with you, but I'll say he actually believes in it more than he doesn't. I used to think that it was just an act, but then lately I knew now that he has his majority, he's being a little more confident about his true agenda, and it's coming out. Like tomorrow there's an announcement tomorrow, right? Tomorrow he's going to announce clean new energy. He's not going away from this. Like it's the thesis of his book was not just to sell the books. He does believe in climate change being a crisis and the importance of government controlling markets. Like, I joke to like
he's a central planner. Like he's
a central planner.
Genuinely believes in that.
Yeah, he backed off on it a little bit, but now that he's back with even though his majority is ever so slight, he's back to pushing what he believes in, and we keep seeing it. Yeah,
and I think he's going to try to implement it now that he's got a majority. And just like every other scheme of every other central planner, it's going to fail. It's going to be an epic failure. That's just how it goes. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
We'll pay the price,
but, oh yeah, the people pay the price. He won't pay the price. He'll he'll just screw off back to Europe, take the money he's made in America, and the money he's made in the process of bankrupting Canada, and screw off. And everyone else will be left holding the bag. And all those boomers that were worried about their pensions, well, guess what? He's betting your pensions on this, man. That's just crazy that they've added the pension to the line of credit. Good job.
Another $2 from Myrones. Was it Myrones or Myrones? I can't. But it says buy $1 on Ellen/Elliot not having one.
Not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by it as well. Again, here's that massive crossing, just waiting for the light to change.
Yeah. So when the light changes, people go in all directions, like it's just crisscross.
Yeah, so it's five directions this street. So it goes along for like all these different directions, and everyone's just looking to get in the direction that they want to go, and they all kind of just ram into each other.
Is jaywalking like really frowned upon? Like people don't jaywalk in Japan, or do they once in a while?
Yeah, people don't jaywalk. That's not. Yeah, people obey the rules.
Like here, like in Calgary, people are pretty good. But I've been to North American cities like New York or Quebec, Montreal. Montreal street signs are just suggestions. They don't mean shit. Like, wow.
Pretty hectic. Yeah, as soon as all the different halves meet, and then it's just people trying to avoid each other. And then you have like lots of social media influencers that stand in the middle, try to get their photos taken in the crossing.
Insane. That's that's wild.
Yeah,
cool.
This is not even busy. This is not even close to busy right now. Because like I said, it's kind of early in the morning.
Is that pretty much, Yuji, is that pretty much downtown? Like, is that defined as downtown or not quite? It's just a popular spot, but it's not downtown.
There's many downtowns. This is downtown for Shibuya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Downtown Shibuya, they got downtown Shinjuku, City, Tokyo, Chiodai. Tokyo is one big downtown. Like, as you can see, like, there's no green because it's all city.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like my cousins didn't understand what it meant when we said there's nothing between cities in Canada. They're like, "What do you mean nothing?"
Yeah, like well, there's farms, there's farmland.
Yeah, just land. It's like, what does that mean? Like the cities between cities.
But yeah, you can see behind me. It's all big billboards and all of that.
Cool.
And yeah, it's as far as the eye can see because we're in Tokyo.
Okay, let's finish off the super chats here. My own said, and private eyes is also referred to Wakalar. that sucks the brains right out of your nose.
What? I don't know what that is.
Myron says sounds like the Liberals. It's like probably a comment to Carney.
I don't even know what he's referring to. Right.
Yeah, we're slightly behind. Yeah, I think that goes along with like all the other tweets that Myron's is sending. And then Canadian Spider-Man.
That was terrible. I saw that in the news today. I saw that.
Natives closed down Joffrey Lakes. Enjoyed old Dango.
Really? Man, you give them an inch, man. It's unbelievable.
I get in trouble for saying this, but you know, it's the native. What's the right word? The native issue has to be dealt with. Like something's not working. We have to deal with it, and people don't want to deal with it. But I mean, we had a poll in Alberta that showed that 60% of natives are in favor of independence. Like they want the actual natives on the reserves want it dealt with. The chiefs, we have to make a distinction. Chiefs are not your typical native. The chiefs they're corrupt. They have their own agenda, and they do not represent their people. Yeah, those kinds of numbers. We have to deal with this. And some people say that I'm being racist by just saying we have to deal with it. It's like, well, it ain't working.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's not working. You can't convince me it's working. It's not working.
Saying that you're racist is just a way to shut down the conversation. I mean, it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with,
I mean, I don't even sweat that anymore. I have a little meme that I share, and it's like, here's your playbook. You're going to call me racist. You're going to call me MAGA. You're going to call me traitor. I mean, yeah, it's weak, right? It's weak. Challenge me on my ideas. Don't just call me racist. But anyways.
Oh, cool. Exactly.
Oh, we still got one more?
Yeah, Gordon Heffernan for $5 says everything that comes out of Carney's mouth is a word salad or a lie.
He's actually better at tossing a word salad than even Trudeau was. I mean, he can say absolutely nothing and it sounds intelligent. Trudeau would say absolutely nothing, but it sounded stupid. Carney can actually sound intelligent saying nothing. He does it all the time. All the time. His Davos speech was classic. Everybody like, oh my God, so great, so great. It's like, yeah, but what did he actually say?
He said, all the little guys are going to get together and beat up the big guy.
Yeah.
Forget it. Yeah, this middle powers thing. What the hell are you talking about? Every one of them is going to back down when somebody set an example on, and you know what? That's what's coming in July, right? So all the signs point to Donald Trump pulling out and giving a 6 months notice for the end of the USMCA in July. So
we never even talked about that. That's not happening. Yeah, there won't be.
Not when all Carney's been doing and all of his cabinet ministers have been doing is signaling that our relationship with the United States is over. Like, give me a break. Like, give me a freaking break if the United States is going to come to the table and say like, no, we'll renew it so you get 85% of your products still come over the border tariff free. Forget it. How about you just get tariffed on everything? How about that? That's what your relationship being over looks like. So I'm actually applauding it. I hope that it happens. I hope that the people that voted for this crap learn their lesson, and they'll have to learn it the hard way, unfortunately.
Awesome. Crazy how many people behind you are holding up cameras. Like it's wild to see. Yeah.
Awesome. It's just such a tourist place. That's a lot of people come here just for the.
It's like Times Square, right? It's like Times Square in New York. Yeah. It's just a place. Does it get wilder at night?
Robbed.
Does it get wilder at night, or is there?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
This is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. Usually, this whole square is full. It's full of people, and that's as they're coming out of the train, because the train station's right here. You come out here. There's a subway station right behind me. The stairs for that comes out there. This is the Hachiko meeting place. And then right here is the main strip called Sentagai. That's the name of the street.
Yeah, I got another super chat from Maroons. It says, when my job was eliminated from my workplace, I found out that all the people who were also let go were also older white people, because that's not racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's easier for them to say. Yeah, if you fire, you have a Muslim guy or a white guy. If you fire the white guy, you're not going to be in trouble. You fire the Muslim guy, you might be in a bit of trouble. So yeah, interesting. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Great show. Thanks everybody for coming out. And as usual, I think there's going to be a little bit of a hangout in the Discord. I'll pop in. I'll say hey to everybody. I still got some battery left. So, and I got a few hours before I gotta get to anything. Meeting up with my brother-in-law today, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Cool. All right, we'll see you guys next week, same time.
Have a good night.
And
You'll be
thanks so
back
much,
next
Yuji.
week, right? Or are we doing the same thing next week?
I think we're
I'll
doing
be
the same
back.
thing next week because I'll be here.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for hosting, Yuji.